All right, probably a little bit slow looking at and see how everything closed earlier today. So then we got Aussie CAD, doing much. Still gonna wait for it to come down to this zone. With that one, Aussie Swiss, I do need it to calm down a little bit more here. On that one, AJ, slow in the Asian sector. Tomorrow is the last day of the month, so over the outlook next month, and the trades all break down, so tomorrow will be a busy day going through everything. It's my favorite day. Usually I would do it on like the first, but we'll go over everything big. It's where the real to be made. It's looking long term and riding object here. Head back major area, huge bearish candle last week. On that alone might not break this area. We'll analyze that next month for some targets and entry. See, Aussie dollar. I wonder, it's bearish on the week. Monthly, these are, so I would probably, or I even, so I'd wait for it to come up here a bit. Maybe look for a short on the price. As far as now, there's not. We'll look at the Oz 200 here. The price is just fighting the 200-day moving average. But I would say it's going to, most of the indices become bearish. They can't. They're not going to be able to handle the interest rates. There's not a much better entry here. Yeah, either short it now or just this area. But overall, I would say it is bearish. Look on a weekly here, it was bullish. I mean, it hasn't, and that was before interest. I don't tried earlier this is a major area though. As it breaks this, odds are once it does crack it, I'm scared and remove other. Also trade we testing on this one, bullish round act basically this whole week. Granted, it was the end of the month, new high. Could be, see a lot of wicks happening right now. Wanted to counter trade, which I wouldn't, could, because there was so much zone and now the profits of the month, next month, some buys. It's a pretty risky trade, but you could. Mostly how you trade one, you trade them all. So if you're wrong, then they all go. But this as well, Swiss here, when you the 4 hour, it is struggling for weekly candles or daily, and they're struggling, so that could be worth a short too. But I think it'll look bearish, but it really is. So I don't trade the dollar, obviously. I actually can't. It is good to watch because it correlates with all the other dollar pairs. You can check the dollar strength. It can usually which direction dollar pairs against worth. Right now, really not much. It is bearish. It means like pound USD, euro USD bullish, which have been. The dollar's weak. So in mind, 50 definitely on their way down. Does not want to see this a little bit lower high, Get on. I'm dying. If you wanted a bit safer, just wait up here. But once again, pretty confident shorting it. This hasn't made a new high since Euro, Aussie, highs ish. Again, not much going on here. This is a bearish. Depending on how today, being Friday, this area right now is bullish. Moving average. It's kind of risky to counter trend trade. I do believe all these euro pairs are taking their time, but did not really. Hopefully next see it was super bullish and has a sub area above here. So there's two main areas here. If it breaks the head lower, but counter trend trade, a little high risk, impossible pips worth it. Pips. If price came back into area, I would have taken it here. You would have been. If you wanted to take that counter trend, missed it. You likely. Oh, Euro Swiss. Another trade that I'm in right now. The zone and head lower this month, pretty good. This area here, pound hasn't made a zone yet. Way down, what it wants to do, it is bearish. More price action, confirm it though. Higher highs, lower highs there. The euro pair, I don't think euro yen will go bearish by any means, but I think it'll have a nice pullback because the other euro pairs, euro CAD here, I think they're all gonna come down. So there might be a slight counter trade. Risky, lower lows, it's wicking pretty good. The 4 hour area could here. Don't think there's other pairs you put your money into would probably do you better. That is there. Kiwi, oh, this half hours. Like I said this morning, I did short Euro Kiwi, which was a mistake, but I can see that it is hopefully coming back in favor and then can close out and make a bit of money. I'm probably going to this area and then close out because I don't know if it's going to alert here. Close my to there. So I'm pretty sure they're in the mid, might actually be in profit. So I can figure out how those will play out, and then if I can just make a bit of money and close them both. It's nice to see that coming down a bit. Euro USD, the boring kind of flat, still bullish. I don't think see all the volume. Euro USD is probably bearish. Maybe next week there'll be something. If price breaks below this 4 hour, time to short. Pound Aussie fighting target this area next week. We got the daily area here. We'll see how this tomorrow closes. Short position grab through this next week. And then CAD. The CAD pairs are just slowly making their way down a little bit. On Swiss trade, I need to go lower. Probably not going to do much tonight and tomorrow. The beginning of the month, she moves a bit. Pound yen. This looking up here. So far, has not done much since our last session, but we will check it in the morning and see. Odds are there won't be anything until next week. Then it'll be pretty good. So on top of that one is good because I'm also in this trade. 4 hour. Well, no, this is but it was a 4 hour candle. It's bearish. This is our new zone. Hopefully it does not go above this zone. Coming back down now. I can get out of my short positions in some profit. I shorted, I think, right around 207 flat. I need it to come down to here, make some money, get out of that position. This is pretty bullish. I should have never taken that short. I was overly aggressive and dumb. I should end up still making money on it. That's always good. Pound USD, not much with these. Okay. No, if it breaks any of these trend lines that I drew earlier today, check out the AS one. I cannot believe how high this is. I really can't. I thought with interest rates by now they would have caught up. It would be, but that's the thing. Whenever you think the markets can't go more, so I'm not usually wrong, but I am early. Translates to me and losing money usually. If you're early, there's not really much here. Obviously it's very bullish. I would look for a buy, but there is nothing worth entering really anytime. There's this area. If it comes down to here next week, look for a buy there. But I would only target, like, be safe, I would only target these highs. I don't think I would target higher highs because this momentum is going to die off and you'll get stuck holding the bag. I would not want that. So yeah, we'll see. If it doesn't break this area here tomorrow, Monday maybe, then I'll probably head lower. Look for a buy there. That area of support right here. CAD. This was the nice trade we were looking at. Oh yeah, this is nice. Yeah, this is a nice bullish candle. We'll see once it enters this zone. I got my alert set up here. So we'll see. We might be able to get into this trade tonight or early tomorrow morning. And then, but once this hits this zone, we need to make sure that there's some resistance, some wicks. I want at least a 4 hour at least. And then if anything, you could just wait for it to level off and then enter. So you got a full week to hold the trade, to make your money and really let that resist. The NZD Swiss. We pulling back up, a short trade set up, but this area, which does not look like to do, but we pull this here, this area. If price comes up to here, which is a lot of momentum, it probably will, could consider moving this, something like this. Right at the, look at this, even you can't make this up. This is a perfect 55 level. A alert there, cause that's really good. So that might be our next trade. We're gonna wait for that one. NZD yen. So yeah, these NZD pair. Kiwi is pushing up. It is Australasia time right now. Part of it is be helping all my trades, so that's good. This was struggling in this area and now looks to be, we'll see how this closes, but as of right now it destroyed it. If this 4 hour candle closes, let's say it closed right now, I would look for a little pullback here and enter along here, because we were hoping initially for it to come down to here, but it decided to be bought up before that. So I would look. Again, that'll probably be tomorrow morning's trade or Monday's trade. Target higher at this 92 level. And then moving on to ZD pulling up. A ton of safe. This would be counter trend trading, but these zones are lining up. And then it is lining up so that by the time price gets up here, it'll meet this moving average. It'll probably function resistance and then head back down lower. But until then, there's quite a bit of bullish momentum coming out of this zone. Money in it. 690. That is not worth it, but it probably is a high probability. Not worth the pips. I'm gonna check out oil here. I'm waiting for it to break this. It's held it incredibly. You can see it's creating areas of lower highs. Another one actually. So next month might be the month that it cracks this. It'll probably go to like 61 bucks. I think with economic slow times happening, that's what's causing oil to just kind of get a little bit lower every day, every week. The value is just decreasing slowly. No, it's not crashing by any means, but it's gonna slowly but consistently head lower and lower. You just see it, and it is below this. It is trending downward. Kind of means recession time. So that's oil. I mean, I would wait for it. I would wait for it to hit this area. If it hits this area with a lot of momentum, then I would. That was my initial. See, maybe this is going after. Yeah, between like 61. For 61 though, it's got to be worth the risk. There has to be good reward, something like that. But that'll be next month. The UK 100, again, these Cs are finally coming down, I think, the major zone, the 7,300 level. Once it breaks this, then I think bottom, you see it's tried to come up, fell down. Now it's found some resistance here. Odds are it's, again, I don't think we'll get a good enough entry on it. Maybe right here. I don't think that's a significant enough zone to enter a trade. So to be more safe, I'd probably wait. Clears the big one here. If it breaks below 7,400, probably it's definitely good to go for this area. Then if it breaks this area, it will. It'll head lower and lower and lower. You're probably good. Just line to be respected this so well Might be worth looking at actually. I'm gonna watch UK 100 a bit more. The good old S&P 500. This is good. So you can see this daily area. It rejected. It's slowly headed back up, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna alert, and then we will see what happens there, because that could be a huge momentum shift, and it might just see if it hits this area and it starts to wick, then I'm probably right. But if it blows right through this zone and we're making new highs, it'll probably hit 4,500, and it'll just be more overbought than it's ever been, pretty much. CAD still waiting for it to come up to here, and then probably enter a short. And slow. D-Swiss be it's in this zone. I did have a but I don't know if I wanted to. No, this pair is kind of ranging too much. I don't really in on it right now. I'll wait till next week to reevaluate it, but I think it still is a good short, just not yet. USD yen slowly making its way up still. Doesn't look like it's gonna stop at any time. I do have a alert here. This is an area I'd like to buy if it hits this area. It looks like there's a little bit of resistance happening right now in this 4 hour. See how this candle closes, and then in the morning, I mean, it's Friday. I'm not going to be taking any trades. I'll definitely have them ready to go for Monday or Sunday night, but we will wait for that. Silver, you can see a nice trade here that played out a long time ago. That zone, this zone is now testing it. An area here. Yeah, silver's a little iffy. Bullish? Not really. It's not really. It's right at the moving average now, whereas gold is. Okay, gold's quite a bit above. Yeah, I don't know about silver. It might find buyer support here if it touches down again and then head higher, but I'm gonna stay away from silver for now because I don't see much. Gold, however, this is something I seen earlier. This is a good trade. Very good trade. So it's at our zone. Dip on it. Respect it. Perfect. And that's basically a pullback of the year. This was the end of February. It made this low. It is, yeah, still bullish because it's above this moving average. It's deep into that 618 zone. It's hitting this area here that we have marked up. So I would say this is a huge buy. I mean, if you want to take a trade now, Friday morning, or even just Sunday afternoon, but I would say a very good trade here. You can see this daily doji. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, if you think this is the lowest gold will go, and you think that it's starting to begin its bullish momentum, you could take this trade and make a 5 hour and then be pretty good to go. It might wait for it to come back down a little bit, right back down to 1905. Enter this at 1905. Set your stop at 1892 and target 1970. Your trade here, probably pretty reasonable to enter now. Or you could wait for a little bit more confirmation. If you wanted to wait for price to come back down a little bit and reject a few more times, you could. But there's a chance with London Open tonight that this just comes up. We miss our entry. So I don't know if you'd rather risk having price go against you or risk moving the trade entirely. If you wanted to double check if you wanted to really confirm the bullish momentum, what I would do is wait for it to hit this zone. Because if it cracks this zone and then comes back and rejects, then and then you have a much better R to R. And you've confirmed the bullish momentum. So I would probably wait for price to break this area. We're testing now, come back down a little bit, and then head high. That's gold. Just gold against the other ones, which I touch. These are all exotic pairs I don't trade. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just for fun, look at Bitcoin. It's at a very, very important level here. It's huge. I actually think it's gonna. I think with the dollar being down and being weak, I think with this huge momentum coming into this zone, I do think that Bitcoin head higher. Not a huge fan of Bitcoin, but this is a significant area. Well, this weekly candle's pretty low, so I don't know. I would say it's probably going to break the big zone here. You could wait for some support down here. You can see it's kind of making lower highs, so it's a little bit sideways and struggling. Did make a lower low here, technically, so it might continue down here before heading up. But if it comes back down here and rejects again, you're probably good to buy. If it breaks this zone, then that's all. But if it doesn't break this zone and go lower, then it's probably going to go higher. And that might be where a lot of buyers are sitting, ready to go. Ethereum also struggling to break this high, but above the moving average. You can see it crossed over here early this year, came up, came back down, tested this moving average, stayed above it, way above it, and is now testing it again. A lot of bullish momentum into this area, struggling to break it, but I think it will. It is making lower lows, so something we could do here is hit that 50. So this is a nice area that price could retrace back to, and then rejects here, and then this 4 hour moving average, it's also holding it up. It might hold it up again, which would signal another good buy to this area, even higher. So I'd like this. It is creating some wicks here on the 4-hour here. Could be showing that it wants to go higher instead of this lower move first. I would still wait for this and then enter like this. So I would wait for this and then you get confirmation, hit it. Litecoin, this is a huge 4-hour right into this area. Yeah, I would bet that it was back up to this area, but I don't know our highs after that. Don't really see a trade that I'd be confident in on that yet. XMR, this is huge. Man, when these crypto coins move, they really move. Kind of wish maybe I'll start. I gotta find a broker that has better leverage. Well, this is huge zones. If it breaks, like it will. Yeah. See if price breaks this first area, this 170 area ish, and then it'll probably head to 180 if it does. It's got huge momentum. It's crossed over the moving average, so it seemed like it was struggling for a bit here. Found its area of support here and flew up. Dash. This one still looks to be bearish, way below the moving average. Had this huge bearish candle. Looks like it's struggling here, so I would stay away from this one unless you wanted to continue to short it. There's an area here, big pattern, you get this huge dip and basically sideways but bullish a little bit all the way up and rejected. Then falls down, makes new lows. See, wait for this price to come into this zone and then decide if you want to short on that, because that would be heavily with the trend. Super bearish. I think that'd be a pretty healthy trade. You can see it wicked here a bunch of times on the daily and then printed this huge bearish dip. There's bearish momentum there. It's probably worth Cardano. You found some support here. It's still bearish because it destroyed this moving average and downward. It's getting close to this area that it might retest. I would wait to see how it acts in this area. If there's a lot of bullish momentum into it and it doesn't seem like it's struggling, then it'll probably break and head a bit higher to here, because the other cryptos are getting stronger and the US dollar is getting weaker. Push it up higher. But if it does hit this zone and there's a bunch of wicks just like these ones, or if it starts wicking right before the zone just like these ones, it's just going to head lower. This dot, yeah, bearish, but I don't see significant trades. Good old Ripple above the moving average, a huge zone, making lower lows. Might have already found its support here. Yeah, I don't see much for it. There's a chance it found its support, start heading back up. Don't see trade. Could wait for it to come a bit lower again, retest this zone and see if it tests it again and then buy it. Maybe it'll test this moving average just like it did here too. And then, because here, look at it. Tested it, broke, came up above, tested it, up. If it tested again, heads up. Neo, and below the moving average, ton of wicks here. I would look to short it if anything, to come back up till again. If it starts printing wicks, head lower to this area. It's popped up quite a bit. Wait for it to come up here, show some resistance, and short that down. Oh, good old Doge, Elon's coin. I remember this going through the roof. I thought it was the stupidest thing. Still do, but just because it's stupid doesn't mean you can't make money. I never made money on it. I never bothered trading it. Doge is bearish. Don't really know how low it can go. It's at 6 cents. I probably would not touch this at all, to be honest. But these are your areas if you want to consider a trade. But oh, and then we're back at the dollars. Yeah, definitely the trade of the day is gold. I believe so. Watch that closely and look for a good entry when it happens, because it should be soon. Maybe tomorrow morning or tonight, London Open. And then, yeah, if it hits this area again and there's any rejection, I would look for a buy. Seems really good. So that is that for tonight. Good analysis and breakdown. Hopefully my trades go in my favor a bit. These green ones are trades I have. So hopefully they keep going the way that I need them to go.